and welcome to Woolen Works. Today we're going to wet block a garment together. I'll be blocking the Kala top from We Are Knitters, which I made in a copper colour using the cotton, which is also from We Are Knitters. And I'd love to know what you're blocking, so let me know in the comments down below and let's block together. For this tutorial you're going to need some blocking mats. I've made these myself out of some blank mats from my local store and then just stuck some masking tape on them in a grid-like formation. Now you don't have to do this, you can buy some with the grid already on them, or you can use blank ones and then just simply measure with a ruler where you want to pin your piece. I just find it a bit easier having the grid and then I can just mark how many squares across or whatever for blocking. You'll need some pins. Commonly T-pins are used. I don't have any right now, so I'm just using these pins. I think they're from my Year 7 sewing class, so you don't need anything fancy for this stage. You need your piece that you want to block, a tub to soak your piece in because we're going to be doing wet blocking today, and optionally you can use some wool wash. And I like to do this just so that my pieces are clean and ready to wear as soon as I've blocked them, and it's really cheap from your local supermarket. Links for all of the items that you'll need today can be found below in the description box. Put some warm water into your pack. Now you want this water warm, you don't want it hot, because if we add heat to our yarn and then we're rubbing it or something, we can cause it to felt. So just use warm water. Then going to take a capful of the wool wash and stir that in, and I like to use the lid and just agitate the water. This makes sure that it bubbles up. Nice and bubbly. Then want to grab your piece that you're blocking and gently press it into the water, fully submerging it. You don't want to rough it around or anything, just gently press so that it's all wet. Wow, that colour looks nice in the water, doesn't it? Look at that. Alright, so push that down, and you're going to leave that to soak for about 10 to 15 minutes. Now that it's been soaking for a bit, we're going to take it out and tip out that excess water, and you just want to gently press out the water from your piece. You don't want to wring it or be rough with it, because that can cause felting. So you just want to gently press out any of that excess water. You then want to lay your piece out on a towel and roll it up just to squeeze out any excess water, and you're just going to press on that to get out that last little bit. You can also step on it just to really squeeze that out. So I've got my piece all laid out on my mat. Grab your pins, and I'm just going to start pinning from about the middle here. So I'll work inwards, find my center grid and put the middle on there. Pin that in, and you can just go around pinning your edges so that they're secure and nice and straight. If you have the Knit Pro blockers with the multiple pins, they're great to stick into your edges rather than having to stick multiple pins, because they've got, it's almost like a 5-in-1 pin. So I've just done it roughly there. So here's my middle. And I've gone 1, 2, 3, 4, pinned onto the inside of the fifth one, and I've done the same on this side. So that's how I know it's even. If you don't have the grid on your mat though, that's fine. Just with your ruler, you can go across and measure what you have. And then we'll do the same up the sides. And as you move it around, you might see that you need more pins in certain spots. And there's really no limitation on how many pins you can use. Too many, too little. It's really just get it to the shape where you like it and go from there. Now this is the front of my singlet and I've got the back here, so what I can do is lay one over the other and check how I'm going size wise. So it's about the same width, that's fantastic. And on the sides I think I've gone one block higher than I did on the last one. So I can just simply drop that down. Now once you get it to a point where you're happy with the shape, you can then start to fiddle a little bit, say with these holes and things, but you don't want to rough up the fabric or play with it too much because that can cause it to felt and then your stitches won't be separate, they'll kind of chunk together. So sometimes what I like to do if I'm doing lace stuff, I'll actually use the pin and I'll just kind of spread the holes a little bit just using the pin. This obviously is a bit time consuming and you can see just from blocking it and then stretching it out, those stitches are already kind of evened out across the piece anyway, so it's just pretty much how pedantic you want to get with it. I'm pretty happy with it as it is, but you know, if you wanted your diamonds to be the exact same size everywhere, you could measure that with a ruler and then, you know, put a pin there, measure this one, put a pin in. Completely depends how finished you want your piece to look. I'm happy with this general shape, so I'm not going to fiddle with it too much. I might just stretch out some holes here and there where I can, but that's all I'll do to it. And then you want to leave it to sit and dry for a few hours. Depends where, if you've got it in the sun or in front of a fire or something like that. But yeah, I usually I'll leave it overnight and it should be dry by tomorrow. And then you can stitch your pieces together. So here's what during blocking and here's one that's blocked. And you can see they're about the same size. So once I take this off so it's not pinned out, it will shrink inwards a little bit and that will get me the size that I need. So this here is the Carla top from We Are Knitters, and I have a discount code below if you'd like to grab anything from them for your first purchase. But another thing you may like to do is to check your piece against the measurements provided. So for example here it says for my size it should be 50 centimeters across and 53 centimeters tall. So I get my ruler, my tape measure, and I'll measure across where I've blocked, and mine's 51. I'm pretty happy with that because I put one of my t-shirts next to it and it's close enough to 50. And then the height from the bottom to here should be 53, or from here to the very, very top should be 61. So you measure that and check it, and I'm pretty good there as well. So that's another thing you can do to check the size of your pieces. So I've just finished blocking the piece, it's dried, and I've just taken out all of my pins, so you can kind of see where some of them have been. Now I can just simply lift it from the block, and you'll see it really keeps its shape now, whereas before if I scrunched it up and then flattened it out again, the shape would completely change. So if we take our mat away, you can see now it really holds its shape, and that's the great thing about blocking it. All of these holes are much more even. The stitches look great. I'm actually really happy with how this blocked. So if anyone's interested, this was the cotton from We Are Knitters. So for future reference, I know that this cotton blocks really well. I would definitely use it again if I was making a garment, because that's come out really great. So all my stitches now are nice and even in my rows and across my increases and decreases. So yeah, I'm extremely happy with how this has turned out. That's the right side. And this is the wrong side, which kind of looks nice as well. So just shows the difference that blocking makes to your pieces. It's definitely a finishing touch that you should do. Some patterns will say if you should block it before or after stitching it together. So this is the back of the Carla top from We Are Knitters, and it recommended in the pattern to block it first. So this is the back panel, and I'll knit the front panel. I haven't done that yet, and then block that and stitch them together. So there we go. I'm extremely happy with how that's turned out. So now you know how to wet block your garments. I'd love to know how it goes. If it's first time blocking, what do you think? Do you think blocking's worth it? I remember the first time I blocked my piece, I was just gobsmacked at the difference it makes. My stitches looked neater, and the whole piece really held its shape better, I found, after future washes as well. And the very first jumper I ever made, I didn't block it, and it stretched so much it turned into a bit of a t-shirt dress more than anything. So for me, blocking definitely works, but I want to know how it works for you. So let me know in the comments down below. If you enjoyed today's video, please give it a like and subscribe to my YouTube channel, as we have some really good stuff coming up. If you want to see what I'm making at the moment, head over to @woolenworks on Instagram or Facebook. Thanks for watching.